My name is Ellie, and I live on the 4th floor of an old apartment building in New York. The building is quite aged, with outdated facilities, and the neighbors are mostly distant. One morning, as I was rushing out to work, I nearly slipped in the hallway. Looking down, I was stunned to see the entire floor covered in water stains, with water dripping down the stairs. Muttering about my bad luck, I carefully avoided the puddles and made my way downstairs, wondering where the water had come from. When I came home that evening after work, the water stains hadn't dried, and it seemed like there was even more water. I frowned and decided to ask the neighbors if they knew anything. First, I knocked on the door of Tom, my neighbor across the hall. Tom is a young programmer, who always wears glasses and looks exhausted. He opened the door, and after I mentioned the water in the hallway, he seemed confused. He told me he had been working overtime at the office all day and had just returned, so he had no idea about it. Next, I went to the door of my other neighbor, Lucy, an elderly woman. When she opened the door and saw me, she visibly relaxed. I mentioned the water stains, and she seemed uneasy, nervously suggesting that maybe it was from a leak in the roof's water tank. She told me not to worry too much. Her reaction seemed odd, and I started to feel suspicious. The next day, the situation got worse. The water stains had spread to the 3rd floor. The entire building's residents were complaining, and the property management received complaints and sent people to inspect the situation. The property staff checked the water tank on the roof, but everything seemed normal. They traced the pipes, but there was no sign of a leak. Everyone was puzzled. At that point, I remembered Lucy's strange reaction and decided to visit her again to get to the bottom of things. I knocked on Lucy's door again. This time, it took her a while to answer. I directly asked her if she knew anything about the water stains. Lucy hesitated for a moment before letting me inside. As soon as I entered her apartment, I was hit by a sharp, unpleasant smell. The living room was filled with various bottles and jars, along with some chemical reagents. Lucy sighed and confessed that she had secretly been doing chemical experiments. The day before, she accidentally knocked over a container filled with solvents, and the mixture of solvents and water had seeped through the floorboards into the hallway. She had been too scared to admit it to anyone. I was both angry and helpless, urging Lucy to fix the issue right away. She assured me that she had contacted a professional to handle it the next day. But that very night, a loud crash echoed through the building, followed by a cloud of smoke. It turned out that one of Lucy's experiments had exploded, and the fire spread rapidly. Everyone panicked and ran out of the building. The firefighters arrived quickly and managed to put out the fire. Fortunately, there were no casualties, but Lucy's apartment was completely destroyed. After the incident, an investigation revealed that Lucy's experiments had serious safety hazards. She had been conducting dangerous chemical experiments on her own, which ultimately led to the disaster. The whole chain of events, starting with the water stains in the hallway, ended up causing problems for everyone in the building. However, it also led to more understanding among the residents. After this ordeal, we decided to renovate the building together and improve communication between neighbors. The old apartment building began to feel like a community again, and the water stains in the hallway became an unforgettable and somewhat ridiculous memory for all of us.